covering January 1st, 2009 through December 31st, 2010.
Any questions or comments? Mr. DeJoy?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. 1 month ago at our last voting session in February, we as a council had the opportunity to set a benchmark as to the ratification of new contracts with our bargaining units. One that takes into consideration the current plight of the resident taxpayers of Jamestown over the conventions of what can only be described as fair bargaining between the administration and the respective bargaining units. This council chose with a 5-3 vote not to upset status quo and ratify the contract with the Kendall Club PBA, which gave 3% raises for 2008 and 2009. Many of my colleagues cited the unfair rules of binding arbitration that are imposed upon us as a reason not to reject the negotiated settlement, which absolutely has a great deal of validity, but I feel that hand-wringing in that type of scenario will not bring about the necessary change. Mr. President, I said in my remarks last month that mine was not a vote against the JPD because I appreciate all they do each and every day to keep our city safe, and I mean that with all sincerity and respect. We are once again faced with the decision to ratify or reject a negotiated contract with the JCAA. Again, I appreciate all the dedication and service to our community this small bargaining unit performs for the citizens of Jamestown. However, today we are not in a position to say thank you with a significant pay raise. If this were 2007, I would likely have not thought 2.75% increase as significant. In March 2009, it's a totally different story. Unemployment is still rising. People are not spending money, which leads to significantly lower sales tax revenues. The unprecedented assault on Wall Street, for which New York State so desperately depends upon for income taxes, will put an even greater strain on New York State and their ability to send anticipated or at least budgeted aid payments. So in other words, we cannot continue to use the same assumptions in March of 2009 as were made in October of 2008 when we as a council developed and passed the 2009 budget in September. Therefore, Mr. President, I will again vote nay to ratify the contract with the JCAA. I do so with a message to the JCAA members that I appreciate the fact that these good people had absolutely nothing to do with the current economic troubles we face here today. They weren't the ones that devastated our financial system with subprime mortgages, credit default swaps, bundled mortgage-backed securities. These hardworking men and women only want to do their jobs and take care of their families. Unfortunately, the taxpayers of Jamestown also didn't play a role in this current economic challenge that we now face. They are at their limit, and I, for one, will not help them get pushed over that limit with another contract